Jesus is Lord. Well, let's do a mic check error. Mic check. Mic check's good. All right, so we're going to continue with this study of the Mosaic Law, 613 laws as described by those who did the research in the past. Again, we're looking at jewfact.org, which is website www.jewfact.org /613, which is a web page where an individual went in and separate these by groups. You see this one, where we're up to now, is the treatment of Gentiles, number 53. So let's get started. It says to love the stranger. So what we're going to do, as we've been doing, we're going to look
messing stuff up
at what the Bible actually says. Ooh. Not just going to take these guys' word for it. We're actually going to look it up. We found some that were, most of them were right. Some of them were slightly off, and then some were completely wrong. All right, let's look at this one. 53 says to love the stranger. Deuteronomy 10 and 19 says, love ye therefore the strangers, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. Okay, the land of Egypt. We're talking about the spiritual Egypt. I know you're reading and say, I ain't never been to Egypt. Most of us can't put out Egypt on a map, but we all either are now a citizen of modern day Egypt / Babylon, or we are a former member of the modern day Egypt / Babylon, or we're in some type of transition from one to the other. And when we do get out, if and when we do get out of this spiritual Babylon, we have to remember those, we have to remember that we were once there. It wasn't just born in this and the will of God. We actually had to make a transition. So you have to love the stranger, love that those people that are still there and trying to get out. All right, 54. Not to wrong the stranger in speech. Now this one says Exodus 20, 22 and 20. We're gonna look at this one. Now Exodus 22 and 20 says, he that sacrifices unto any god save unto the Lord only, he shall be utterly destroyed. Okay, now I think what's going on here, we saw this before, is that the Hebrew Bible and the English Bible have a few verses that are they are a little off. So let's go in and let's look at the whole chapter 22. And let's look at verse 21 and see if that doesn't more fit what this law, or what 54 is saying. You ever notice that computers are slow when people are watching?
Well, you can imagine how this thing is slow if people watch it.
Anyway. Thou shalt neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. So, see, the next one says not to wrong the stranger in buying or selling. If 20 says he that sacrifices unto any god. 21 says thou shalt neither vex a stranger. 22 says ye shall not afflict any widow. 19 says thou shalt not suffer 18 says thou shalt not suffer which to live. 19 says whosoever lieth with a beast shall surely be put to death. So these are a lot of laws. I'm not sure where 54 comes in. I think it's verse 21 when it's talking about vex. Let's look up the word vex again.
Maybe that would help us.
Yeah, one thing you haven't, on the shows before, you didn't have what I call the voice of sarcasm.
You're gonna notice it now.
Alright, define vex. Make someone feel annoyed, frustrated, or worried, especially with trivial matters. So don't annoy a stranger or oppress him, for you are strange in the land of Egypt. All right. So that's 54 and 55. We're going to punt on that one. 56, not to intermarry with Gentiles. Oh, intermarrying. What? Does the Bible really say that you're not supposed to intermarry? Let's find out. Deuteronomy 7:3. Supposed to give us some insight on this. So let's look at what it says. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Okay, let's look at it in context. What does it say? 3 no? Let's look at the whole chapter. Too far. And verse 2. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them. Okay, let's go back to verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hast cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, and 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Okay, now this could be a class in itself. Verse 1 of chapter 7, when it's talking about all of these ites, yeah, they were people walking around then. Many of them were not human. Okay? Understand that, guys. When the Bible talks about Nephilim and all of these other groups, you wonder why so many people had to die in the Old Testament. That's one of the favorite arguments of the atheists, is if God is such a loving God, why did he have all of these people killed? These weren't even humans, guys. I mean, some of these guys weren't humans at all. You know, they were giants and reptilians and all kinds of stuff was going on back there in Genesis. And some of and they lasted past the flood. Look, read your word very carefully. Genesis 6 say them people, you know, they managed to survive the flood. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, that's a whole nother class in itself. And I'm a student just like you, and I've looked up some of these Hivites, and I know who they are, the modern day Hivites. But does this verse really say that we shouldn't allow to marry Gentiles? These weren't Gentiles. You know, when we think of a Gentile, we think of a human, right? A human that may not love the Lord, a human that doesn't love the Lord, a human that's not in the covenant, a human that's not covering the law, not really a giant, you know. So that one is questionable at best. They will take your covenant keeping kid and change them back into a Gentile. They'll basically tell them, you know, don't follow the Lord, follow the law, let's go to church and, you know, get into, you know, paganism and all this other stuff. So be careful about intermarriage. I still have 4 children at the house, and you best believe that I will fully understand who they are getting married before I allow them to. The first 2, maybe 3 got away from me. It's because I was stupid. But I have 4 left. I have 4 chances left. Imagine that. All right,
Getting back into the study here.
57. To exact the debt of an alien. That's Deuteronomy 15:3. I should get my little mouse going, that way y'all ain't gonna put up with all of these clicks. Click, 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 click. Deuteronomy 15:3. Let's go back to 57. To exact the debt of an alien. 57. To exact the debt of an alien. Okay, Deuteronomy 15:3 says, of a foreigner thou mayest exact it again, but that which is thine with thy brother, thine hand shall release. All right, we got to look at that one in context. I need to slow down. I'll do a better job of reading these, don't I?
I see you nodding your head. No, I don't. Just said I did.
Okay, let's start at verse 1. At the end of every 7 years, thou shalt make a release. Okay, talking about the sabbatical year. Releasing all debts and stuff. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that lendeth aught unto his neighbor shall release it. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called the Lord's release. Okay, now talking about neighbors and brothers there. Now verse 3 says, of a foreigner thou mayest exact it again, but that which is thine with thy brother, thine hand shall release. Okay, so I mean, you can get real technical on this, talking about who's my neighbor and who's my brother. And, you know, if you've lent money to somebody, they owe you money up until the year of Jubilee. No, not Jubilee, the sabbatical year, which of course is every 7 years. A lot of people believe that the sabbatical year was the year 2014, 2015, as it was 2008, 2001, blah, blah. But this is talking about the foreigner. You can get your money back from the foreigner, but your brothers and your neighbors, no. After that, you're supposed to release it. You're not supposed to have any debt and hold them to that debt. It's the Lord's release. All right. Let's look at 58. To lend to an alien at interest. Man, I told you they had aliens in the Bible. Let's look. Okay. Alright. Sometimes I wish I had studied marketing or something that would help me do this better than engineering. Anyway, Deuteronomy 23, praise the Lord for I haven't studied anything. Deuteronomy 23:21. When thou shalt vow a vow unto the Lord thy God, thou shalt not slack to pay it, for the Lord thy God will surely require it of thee, and it will be sin in thee. Okay. To exact the debt of an alien. Okay, let's make sure we're on the right verse. So let's go back and look at the surrounding verses before we make a judgment. 23 and 21. Let's look at 21st. We found that the Hebrew Bible does have different numberings on the verses, but they haven't been off by more than one that I've seen. It's always either the verse before or the verse after. So let's look. Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury. That's interest. But unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury. No interest. That the Lord thy God may bless thee in all that thou settest thine hand in the land whither thou goest to possess it. Okay, going back here, to exact the debt of an alien. No, we're to lend to an alien with interest. So yeah, that look like verse 20 instead of 23. Instead of 23 and 21, looks like it's actually verse 20 up here. Okay. So it says, unto the stranger you may have lend with interest, but to the brother you shall not lend with interest. You know, so you think, you know, your mother or your brother or your daughter or cousin or somebody come and say, hey, I need to borrow $100. You know, you're like, oh, wow, how you gonna give me $110 back? No, you don't really do that. You know, you give them $100, they give you $100 back. All right. And see this is funny. We're gonna point this out. You see this? It says according to tradition, this is mandatory. Yeah, tradition. And we're talking about those modern day Jews, those ones that, get the reputation when you say a person is a Jew. That's the tradition that they're talking about. Like it's mandatory to charge interest. Well, it doesn't really say that. That's just their tradition. All right. So there we have treatment of the Gentiles. I think when we've done this before, we picked a verse or a chapter to play for you guys hearing. I think we can do that here. Let's see which one. Chapter 23, chapter 15, chapter 7. Let's go with this one we had trouble with. Exodus 22.
Chapter 22.
If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he should make full restitution. If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. If the theft be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be ox or ass or sheep, he shall restore double. If a man shall cause a field or vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his beast, and shall feed in another man's field, of the best of his own field, and of the best of his own vineyard, shall he make restitution. If fire break out, and catch in thorns, so that the stacks of corn, or the standing corn, or the field be consumed therewith, he that kindled the fire shall surely make restitution. If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double. If the thief be not found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges, to see whether he have put his hand unto his neighbor's goods. For all manner of trespass, whether it be for ox, for ass, for sheep, for raiment, or for any manner of lost thing which another challengeth to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his neighbor. If a man deliver unto his neighbor an ass, or an ox, or a sheep, or any beast to keep, and it die, or be hurt, or driven away, no man seeing it, then shall an oath of the Lord be between them both, that he hath not put his hand unto his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept thereof, and he shall not make it good. And if it be stolen from him, he shall make restitution unto the owner thereof. If it be torn in pieces, then let him bring it for witness, and he shall not make good that which was torn. And if a man borrow aught of his neighbor, and it be hurt or die, the owner thereof being not with it, he shall surely make it good. But if the owner thereof be with it, he shall not make it good. If it be an hired thing, it came for his hire. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Whosoever lieth with a beast shall surely be put to death. He that sacrificeth unto any god, save unto the Lord only, he shall be utterly destroyed. Thou shalt neither vex a stranger, nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. Ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If thou afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as an usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury. If thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the sun goeth down, for that is his covering only. It is his raiment for his skin. Wherein shall he sleep? And it shall come to pass, when he crieth unto me, that I will hear, for I am gracious. Thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people. Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits, and of thy liquors. The firstborn of thy son shalt thou give unto me. Likewise shalt thou do with thine oxen, and with thy sheep. 7 days it shall be with his dam. On the 8th day thou shalt give it me. And ye shall be holy men unto me. Neither shall ye eat any flesh that is torn of beast in the field. Ye shall cast it to the dogs.